Hello, guys. You're welcome to today's broadcast. God bless you for staying connected. My name is Pastor Ndobisoke. Okay. Our topic for today is God remembers. There is nothing that we do on earth that is not being recorded in heaven. And the record is for reference purpose. For the time will come when every deed of every man will be will be brought to remembrance. God bless you. Today we're looking at the story of the Jacob and his tribes, right? Tribes of Israel. A time came when Joseph shared his dream with his beloved brothers, and but then it was not something that went down well with them. They became really jealous and they conspired to kill him, because how can this be that this young chap will suddenly become our leader? This young one that we even win and be sad, if I'm right. So how can that suddenly be that a time like that will come when we'll have to bow down to him? But they were all naive, all of them. They didn't know much about dreams and its interpretation, but then God's will has to come to pass. So what happened? They did conspire. All right, Joseph was his father's favorite because he was born at his old age, rather. So he loved him. All right. So the others saw him taking the father's love and all that. They were all his children, his lovely children. He loved each and every one of them, actually. But then he was his favorite. I mean, like a grandson, though he was his son. All right, so he enjoyed his father's love and wisdom and comfort. The father was always sending him on an errand. This is really, 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 really obtainable in families where favoritism is projected and all that. So the brothers were not happy. So when this young boy came and shared this dream with them, it didn't go down, even though his father was like, very well, that is okay. So his father said, okay, that's a good dream, right? So when just Jacob sent his son to go and give a message to his brothers who were raising flocks, they saw it as an opportunity to kill him. The violent ones like Issachar and Co raised the idea of killing him and returning a bloodied garment to the father who they would say to that his son, they found his dead body somewhere, and this is what was left of him. Okay, so now, but Reuben first, the eldest, if I'm right, saw this, right, and was like, this is not okay. That's he within himself. This is not okay. Okay, then he suggested, being the elders, okay, suggested, let's not kill him. Let's not kill him. Let's just throw him into the well, and then tell our father that yes, actually, he was killed. And then his plan was later on he will come and bring his brother out and return to his father. I'm not sure if his brothers figured this out, they would have really been pissed with him. That's why his intention was within that heart. In that heart, this is a man that is surrounded by a very violent, rebellious friends, brothers. But deep in his heart, he had love. Because how can he tell his father that his brother was murdered? He is the first. How can he explain that? He accepted the responsibility of keeping everyone safe. Right? That's what he had in his heart. That commitment, that love, which he demonstrated that way to ensure that his brother was safe. Little did he know that God was taking record of that, as God did take record of the murder of Abel. God watches all things. His eye is on everything. Right, so heaven took record of this. So eventually, Joseph survived and was sold into slavery. That way his dream did come true. But if Reuben didn't do this, really, if he didn't stand in the gap for his brother, that dream would have come true and Israel would have perished in that time, in that time of hardship, Israel would have perished, would have perished outrightly in that time of hardship. We understand that Joseph, from one dungeon to another, from one prison to another, it was part of his life. It was his destiny that he will pass through all that, because big dreams comes with big sacrifice. That's the truth. We tend to pass through certain difficult situations that will prepare us for what is ahead. Because if you must become a leader, you must go through certain stages of suffering, and to have an understanding of what it means to be poor, to be a servant, and all that. All right, what it means to be needy, so that when you find yourself in that position where you have to take care of people, you will not struggle to do that. You will have human sympathy towards them. So God had to make him go through all that to prepare him. At that end, he had to leave the prison yards with the gifts of interpretation of dreams and wisdom that made way for him. All right, so we see him lowered in the well. His brothers eventually did that, and that way he was saved. And Reuben had his, who we understand, didn't eventually come back because he was afraid of his brothers. That they made more than him, but he was. I'm sure he was excited when they eventually sold his brother into slavery. He was like, okay, even if I can't save him finally, how do I stand my brothers when they see me bring this boy back and expose them? They may conspire and kill me. So that led to the suggestion of him being sold into slavery. That way he was saved. The Bible says in Deuteronomy 33. We'll eventually come to that. All right. Moses had to make a special kind of prayer. But let us see what the Bible says in this Genesis 37. When Joseph came to look for his brothers to find out how they're doing. That's what his father asked him to do. He told him about his dream, and it didn't go that well with them. Alright, so in verse 20, they conspired, come now, let us kill him. That is Genesis 37. Let us kill him and throw him to one of these cisterns, and said that the ferocious animal devoured him. Then we will see what comes of his dreams. They were really jealous. When Reuben heard this, he tried to rescue him from the hands. Let's not take his life, he said. Don't shed any blood. Throw him into the cistern here in the desert, but don't lay a hand on him. Reuben said this to rescue him from them and take him back to his father. So they stripped him eventually and did do that. And when Reuben returned to the cistern and saw that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes, because the brothers later sold him. Remember that Judah also played a role. As they sat down to eat their meal. This is in verse 25 of Genesis 37. They looked up and saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead. Their camels were loaded with spices, balm, and myrrh, and they were on their way to take them to Egypt. Judah said to his brother, "What will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites and lay not our hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our flesh and blood." His brothers agreed. You see, Judah and Reuben did play a great role. But Reuben played a greater role in sparing his life. And little wonder God did remember them through Moses. When Moses made a prophetic declaration on them. Let us quickly go to Deuteronomy chapter 33. This is what the Bible says. This is blessing that Moses, the man of God, pronounced on the Israelites before his death. He said, "The Lord came from Sinai and dawned over from Seir. He shone forth from Paran. He came with myriads of holy ones from the south and from his mountain slope. Let us quickly go to verse 6 of this passage, Deuteronomy 33. Now, this prayer was prayed, this prophetic declaration was made 400 years after. Sometimes it takes a very long time, but it will surely come to pass. God will remember you. He may not be in your time. He may remember you. He may visit your family, your children, because of what their grandfather did. He may visit your family because of an altar your grandfather established. The visitation may be for good or for evil, for good or for evil, be to punish or to bless. He said that's why you should be careful what foundation you lay for your children. Be careful what foundation you lay for your children, because even if it doesn't come now, there will be a visitation later. Some of us have had to deal with foundational courses and all that, battles that we did not plan. That still speaks against us. Alright, but if we thank God for God who told Ezekiel in Ezekiel 18 that henceforth it is a soul that sins that shall die. I will not punish the generations after because of the sins of their father. That is corrected, but that is only possible if we don't follow the footsteps of our father. Praise God. If we don't follow the footsteps of our father. But back to the message. In verse 6, he began in verse 5. Still talking about God. Moses said he was king over Jeshurun when the leaders of the people assembled along with the tribes of Israel. He said the possession of the assembly of Jacob. All right. He was king over Jeshurun when the leaders of the people assembled along with the tribes of Israel. Verse 6 says, let Reuben live and not die, nor his men be few. God still remembers. God still visits. All right. God still judges. Still the judge. All right. But we can't be free from punishment that follows if we change our ways and embrace Christ. Jesus intercedes for us. You see, so he said here, let Reuben live and not die, nor his men be few. And this he said about Judah. Hear, O Lord, the cry of Judah, bring him to his people. With his own hands he defends his cause. Oh, be his help against his foe. And if you go down, you will read the prayers made on behalf of the other tribes, prayers made on the other tribes rather. So many prayers made here. You know, being the first child comes with responsibility. You are a leader. Being the president, being the governor, it comes with the expectation. You cannot afford to fail. Your judgment is different. It's colossal, and you must live up to expectation. So the prayer began with Reuben. God ensured that Reuben was sorted. He will not pay for the sins of his brothers. All right, so God ensured that his road was clear, that his blessing was established, that his reward was made known, that his generation enjoyed the blessing that his father deserves for sparing the life of an innocent man. Let Reuben live and not die, nor his men be few. Right, so his generation grew so much, and if you do research, you'll find that his descendants were like the sands of the sea. God does not forget. God does not forget the good deeds that we do. Right? He said in Revelation, let him that is good continue to be good. Let him that is evil continue to be evil. Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give to every man according to their deeds. According to their deeds. Let him that is good continue to do good. I encourage you to continue to do that good thing that you're doing. You may be blessing a generation. Your goodness may be blessing generations to come. You do not know how many lives you are saving by helping that poor young man, by saving a life when you have the opportunity to, by giving alms, by paying people their salaries, by paying workers their dues, by not owing. You may be saving a life. You may be saving lives. You may be saving a president to be. Listen, that young boy that you've helped in the past may turn out to be the president tomorrow. And you know what it means when he becomes the president? He will save so many lives. He may turn out becoming the CEO of a company. You know what that means? By so doing, he may be saving many lives by getting jobs for so many people. So do not forget to do good. Do not forget to do good. God bless you as you continue to demonstrate love, to love one another, your neighbor as yourself, to love your brothers, your siblings, love them equally. God bless you. To have a fantastic day. It is indeed well with you.